And we are live. It is September 6th, 2024. I'm going to do my little sound check as always. It's Spencer Foreman here on office hours for WPLaunchify.com, WP Launch Club. Let me just do a quick check as I always do while everybody wanders in. This is going to be an extremely fun day. Something that I have been really unexpectedly surprised by. As I'll talk about in a second, my background is in social networking, and what we're going to do today and talk about today is right up my alley. So it's a good sign that when we start out and the sound is working. First of all, I want to welcome everybody who's coming in here new. I think today we're going to have some interesting visitors because we had a lot of interest when I posted this up inside of the Fluent CRM Facebook group. Many of you are already members of LaunchKit or WP Launchify, but the topic is useful because what we're going to talk about today is how the Fluent Community plugin may very well say bye-bye to what has otherwise been our mainstay, which is BuddyPress or BuddyBoss. I know my image, which was clearly generated by AI, has BBPress in there, but BBPress kind of goes along with BuddyPress. So I left it in there because I just don't fuss over the details. Let me go ahead and also do a quick share just to remind everybody that we're live. And we're going to jump in. Good morning, Sharon. Good morning to everybody else who's starting to wander in. I'm just going to do this as always. I don't have an assistant. We are live now. Join me. The reason that I do it this way is one of the things that I think I'm able to prove to most people through my actions is that you can actually run a company of one successfully, financially, profitably, and almost spiritually. Because the idea is, as I approach my third trimester and having 20 plus years in WordPress and 45, almost 50, I would say, as an entrepreneur, we live in a world of infinite possibilities and tools, today being a proving point, where almost anybody can do the things that they want to do and service other human beings, provide for themselves or their family, and do it in a way that doesn't require as much manual work or as much crazy labor. But we need to emphasize in doing so. Good morning, Michael. I have not seen you in some time. It's great to see you from France. Je ne peux pas bien français. Yo hablo español. Not to use the tools, not to use the AI or the other things to create a barrier between the human yourself and your clients, but rather to do the other way around. To create more of a personal concierge relationship, because the tools themselves remove the barriers. Today, when I get into the community part, I'm going to show you how Fluent's community plugin actually takes what has been learned in the last 20 years, in my opinion, from the social networking space, and it provides the minimum amount of features that all of us need. But I'm also going to play. This is an unscripted, unrehearsed beta. I'm just going into the software to show you the way that I would use this in LaunchKit. And in doing so, I'm going to demonstrate how you can get the features that you really need for your business or your clients' businesses without all of the overhead. Okay. So having said that, everything is running. I've shared enough. Let's do this. Okay. So if you have questions, please type questions here in the chat, because I will be able to see them and look down. First of all, I'm going to switch over to the other screen. I think I have it properly scaled. I have a working version of the beta community. I want to give a full disclosure. Although I've got the plugin in there, if you are a LaunchKit member and you can play with it, this is still beta. It has not been officially released. And I am speaking as Spencer Foreman here, not as Shah Jahan Jewel or the 100 plus awesome community members who run WP Managed Ninjas. Although I have a great relationship and a close relationship with them, I'm speaking as myself so that there's no confusion. I am not speaking for them. I want to go over here and also, let's scale this down a little bit. Hold on 1 second. I'm going to scale this with my toys so it fits a little nicer, and yet I can still get on the screen. Let's be clear about what we're going to do today. I am going to show you an example of how I think the features of the Fluent community are going to change things. I am setting it up in here in an Insta WP demo site that I've invited some of my own clients into. And certainly you can either get the plugin, like I say, to use today. You can also join the community at Fluent to participate in their community version. But if you want, you can also play with the things I'm going to show you, because I'm going to share how quickly it can be used for merging the two worlds. So first of all, there's nothing on this site that is decorated. I'm just putting the bare basics in. I want to show you mechanics today and get some concepts across. So on the front end, what I have done is I've set up a LaunchKit typical site. That is to say, it's got Cadence under the hood. You can use any theme you want with the Fluent Community. This is a humongous differentiator between BuddyPress and BuddyBoss. Now, BuddyBoss will not run properly or look properly unless you have the BuddyBoss theme. Put a huge flag in that. That is, oh my God, so important, because that has caused us to consistently have to have a fork in the road. When I have clients who come to me, I have to ask them, what is the most important thing about this business? Is it the social thing or is it the other things? And 99% of them say, and no, it's the other things. But BuddyBoss requires you to use the BuddyBoss themes, or you do not get anything to look and feel the right way. That is a huge downside. Even in BuddyPress, BuddyPress looks like the dog ate your homework unless you use a plugin like a Usify or spend all your days and weeks to try to clean it up and make it look modern. That's a huge drag, but it has been a better choice for many of my clients thus far over using BuddyBoss. Why? Because currently the state of affairs that I am recommending has been BuddyPress and Usify, so that we can get a really elegant look. And I hope he's not upset with me, but one of my clients that is doing very well with his new social site would be Xander Holt. I'm going to add this in here. What we've done with Xanders Site is, this is actually, I'm not going to share more than just to say, this is an example of the LaunchKit, very clean, very elegant. He does men's solutions, where the community aspects of things have been integrated into it, and it looks nice, feels nice, because of the fact that we're using Usify. Okay, I'll show this, and I don't want to share his whole site here, but you can go to xanderholt.com and check this out for yourself. It still has limitations. The limitations, unfortunately, are the fact that when you're doing so with BuddyPress and Usify, you still have a lot of missing pieces that BuddyBoss otherwise does really well. So it forces you into this sort of, not to be dramatic, but like a Sophie's choice. I either have to commit to BuddyBoss and take this gargantuan lump of coal with the framework and the themes and everything that goes with it, and the weight and the legacy and the intertwined LearnDash, WooCommerce, all these other things are intertwined into their framework that makes things very difficult when you have other solutions to make happen. Or I go with BuddyPress, Usify, and I have to accept some of the cool stuff that I need isn't really quite working. Well, no longer. So today I'm going to show you how the community thing makes it possible. So let's start with, what am I doing here? I've got a basic front end site, and then I've got a community portal. The portal with Fluent setup, and by the way, there's a few of my members in here. I hope they don't mind. They're in our group. I hope I'm not outing anybody, but Cheryl's in here, but she's been a vocal fan. So some folks have joined and their names are shown. I hope that's no big deal. The idea is that what we've got here is a frame that lives inside of your WordPress site. But what you'll notice is, even though I haven't styled it very much, in the upper left corner and in the navigation bar, I've got a top navigation, a side navigation. I'm able to basically bounce, this is very important, back and forth from the front end to the back end. Now, what I'm going to ultimately do is probably, I could just use some CSS. I'll just style the nav menus to look exactly the same. Now, I want to tell you why this is such a great solution. Back in the old days, before WordPress, when WordPress first was a baby, I was involved in something called Ning, and I ran a company called Widget Laboratory. I cut my teeth on social networking. And what we would do there is the same kind of stuff. Whenever you needed to integrate one or more sites that had different stuff under the hood, the secret sauce was as simple as just make a navigation that looked very similar for both of them. This case, it's actually better because you're in your own WordPress site. You own it, you control it. The members are still the same people. But as far as the look and the feel, this is the solution, versus doing something like having this horrendously heavy requirement of using a theme and a framework. In light of the same conversation of Minimal is better. I love, there's just the choice of the user down here in the bottom left. Look, I can go light, I can go dark. I'm the user, I can decide. Okay. So let's put a flag in Spence's number one big thing. Instead of having to spend all my waking days and moments deciding between what I really want to use, which was my own theme, my own styling, my own whatever, Fluent has made the incredibly outstanding choice of just saying, we're going to put it inside of its own frame. It's not a frame literally, but it's just like a framework. Think of it like a box inside of your WordPress site. And all you're going to do is just generate your navigation so that there's a link that goes home. And on your main site, there's going to link that goes there. Access control. They have thoughtfully provided a mechanism built in that allows anybody to make a fully public site for the portal, or parts of it public and parts of it private. But what I'm going to show you is how I'm going to do it, or how I am doing it, or I'm going to use the capabilities of the CRM, whether I do it with WP Fusion or whether I do it natively with Fluent CRM, or I use them both together. So if you have another CRM, you could still pull this off with WP Fusion, or you could just choose to use Fluent CRM and life is good as well. That's a whole nother conversation. But essentially what we're doing is saying, look, when we set this up, we can decide some stuff here. And I don't want to out anybody, so I'm afraid of if I click on managers, I'm going to show people's emails that are helping out and having fun on here. But you can set the managers, first of all, for people who are authorized to help manage the site. You could set up your basic email notifications and stuff. But we can also go into the features, the leaderboard, the courses, Giphy, media storage I have not set up, but that would allow us to independently manage media storage instead of using the media library, which, by the way, super awesome. I can do it server storage. I can do Cloudflare. I can do Amazon. I'm just going to go ahead and store it in the WordPress uploads. And these features are really super simple and super awesome to use. As simple as this is what most people need. Welcome message. This is a feature that just popped up in today's update. Tells people how to get in, what to do. I have not used this yet because it literally came on. But again, you can literally have something as simple as just a little message here and jazz it up. Yeah, Spence says, have fun. And that's it. This is very similar to what they do with the Fluent Forms, with the Fluent CRM, with the other automation. Less is more. Now, in all my conversations with Shah Jahan and Juice and the rest of the team, the whole concept is that WP Managed Ninjas has been creating a number of the plugins that we use extensively in LaunchKit in combination with the other plugins that we write or that I'm involved in. Launch Flows, WP Fusion, LearnDash, Cadence Theme, and more. And the idea is if you have all of these things working in a way that does not fight with the other plugins, does not make you have a Sophie's choice between I have to use the BuddyBoss theme or else nothing works or looks good. I have to use the BuddyBoss framework or else nothing looks good. I have to go with BuddyPress, but then I have to figure out all these missing pieces myself and add in something like a Usify. Don't need it. Don't want it. I want to show you some of the other stuff that have been thoughtfully included because this is really cool. The community chat. I do not like having chats inside of WordPress when you're using the typical stuff. There is an awesome plugin called Better Messaging. What is it called? Hold on. WordPress plugin, Better Message. I forgot what the actual thing, or Better Messages. This is what I've been recommending to folks who want to operate some kind of chat functionality. And it's fine. As long as somebody doesn't go over the top, I recommend in those cases that they go ahead and have an independent chat server. But chat is typically something people should do independently, in my opinion, in 2024, whether they do it on their text messaging or whether they do it on Discord or they go into Facebook. There's a trillion ways people can talk to each other. So I kind of like the idea, even with this, that people will just independently connect and talk. However, the way that this works has actually been pretty good. So what happens is if you go to the members board, and let's say I go to Keith Richards here, and I want to reach out to Keith, okay, I could just click and message Keith. And you'll see here, this is the built-in message board. He's not here today because he's on tour. Are you going to play tonight? For basic messaging, this is pretty awesome, and it covers most of the nut. And likewise, Cheryl says, yes, I say, it is. So really thoughtful that it's included in here. And in my opinion, it covers most of the things that you will need. And if it becomes too much of an overhead, I would still say you can take it out. But what's neat is that you don't have to think about this. It's all built in. So again, a light plugin optimized that has the same settings and features and set up as we do elsewhere means that we don't have to think too hard about what to turn on, and we don't have to worry about like an independent developer going off into the weeds. Now, these other things are the tools that we already use in LaunchKit extensively. Fluent CRM, I cannot say enough about. We use it ourselves uh, with all the things that I'm doing here at WP Launchify and so forth. We use it, Jack very famously at WP Fusion, switched over to that. I have recommended it, and we've installed it on clients from basic startup sites all the way to enterprise with incredibly great success, huge savings. Why would you not have a CRM built into the same stack when 99% of everything else you're doing is already a plugin in your own server? And for one of our clients who just successfully did a 30,000 person launch this weekend, it held up brilliantly. So there are things that you could do on this with other CRMs, but Fluent CRM is something that makes this even a little better. Fluent Forms, SMTP, and support are options that also tie together nicely. If you do have the need, for example, to have support ticketing, how cool is it that it can be integral to your community so that people can, like, let's be honest, save going from two places. They can ask questions in a private ticket, but they can also interact where other people can communicate about the thing, the problem, the question. Maybe that'll annoy the hell out of you, and you don't want that to be the case. But you can set the stage whichever way you want. If somebody's annoying, you could pop them on over into the support and say, give me a ticket on that one. And I know that the team at WP Managed Ninjas does this because that's where the activity is shown. When people are in the Facebook group, typically they're like, go submit a ticket, or I've created one for you. All right, so let's talk about groups. Notice it's beta. There is a typo in here. Eric's got a quick question. Do you think Fluent Booking will be integrated in the future, like book a meeting? Yes. In fact, I can show you how you can do it today. I'm actually going to show you how to do that as we speak. So the neat thing is it's the same methodology that I was just discussing. Even if it's not an integrated feature, when you're running those other things inside of your site, you can have them today because the users are contacts. Everybody has tags, and there's a way for us to kind of merge the two worlds. So I'm going to jump into that in a second. So remind me, but I'll see your note here anyway. So there are still some things going on. This is the most used feature. So as I was showing you before, like one of my clients here, Xander, his business runs on the notion that there's essentially a membership to private groups, right? That people pay for. Well, that is where groups really shine. If you've got paying customers or they want to discuss different topics, you could create something very easily. What I appreciate about this is that you can also connect this to the other things that people might have. Media, LearnDash, or in this case, internal courses, topics, lessons, sharing of content, like if I was going to do a StreamYard thing. So let's see what this looks like. We'll call this new office hours group. I can give it a custom slug, office hours for Spence, office hours attendees. I want you to see and notice how fast this is in general too. Show spaces even if the user is not. Well, that means we want people to know about it because we might ask them, to join. I'm able to create this stuff super duper fast, right? And in doing so, I can also organize it. You notice this is kind of thoughtful. I can move it up and down. Maybe I'll make that the top thing. Now, when I go to the actual, let's go back to the top of the community, right? So if I go over here to the office hours group, community portal, spaces, we can manage which groups show up in here. If I wanted to do so, I can go ahead and just click and edit this, put that into place, and somebody who's be able to join it will be able to join it. Let's do this also. Let's do settings, And I want to show you this left-hand navigation bar. This is kind of like I'm doing this ad hoc. Menu settings. Notice that I can show stuff on the primary menu, profile drop-down items. That would be here. Top links at sidebar, which would be here. So I've just got main site home. Let's add it up into there, right? So if I added a new link, I could just go ahead and put stuff into there, right? So I could say, WP Launchify. I believe they're going to probably make this better, but right now it's useful. Open a new tab, and I could put an SVG in. If you don't have an SVG, you could just go, free SVG icons and grab something. And any of these would work perfectly fine. You just go ahead and search for something, you click on it, and you can download the SVG code, right? It's a little weird the first time you do it, but if you just inspect it, you can also just get it on the screen, right? So let's do edit as HTML, I copy it, and I can just paste that in. I think they'll probably make this a little better. Maybe they'll put in some like emoticons or whatever. But you notice now I've added a new menu item here that would open up and take somebody to WP Launchify. Okay. Good morning, Chris. Haven't seen you. I hope you're enjoying marital bliss, my good friend. So adding these things to the navigation menu, super awesome. Let's do space groups. So one of the things that I'm not sure about this. So this is one of the things that I'm trying to figure out. If I go over here, hold on, I have to actually, sometimes I have to figure this out as I go along. If I go over here to, let's go to community space. Some of these things are still in, even in my mind, some of these things are still in the, I have to think about where do I go for that? So if I come up to the top, I start with the activity feed. If I go over here to spaces, I can create either a full community space or I can manage the groups that I was just showing you. And somebody can either be private or public. Let's do a new community. So office hours community. Office hours community. And then I'm going to use this in order to tie it together with something like LearnDash, paid memberships, and so forth. This is where we can do what I was just describing. So private, public, secret. I think this is useful enough because if you make it private, then we can enroll people automatically through a process on the front end. If you make it public, it's just going to be visible to everybody. They're still going to be able to read it, but they would have to be logged in, of course, in order to post, right? So if we make it, let's say private, as it says, anyone can view the basics, only members can view and create. You could, if you wished, make a top-down publishing. This is something that has come up in a lot of my conversations where maybe you want a community. People can comment on what you publish versus anybody can publish and comment on what other people say. Enable group chat. We could do a featured image. I'll just grab something like the icon from today. Bye, buddy. We need to give it an ID. So let's connect it to my new office hours group. Okay. Simple as that. What do I have now? Now I have two spaces. I got my office hours community. It's got a chat. I've got the rules of how somebody could get in. It's got a group connected to it. There's no posts in here because nothing's happened. Let's go ahead and look at the members. No members. Let's add Keith Richards. So you as the administrator. And again, I'm kind of running you through some stuff. He can be a member, a moderator, or an admin, right? Let's just make him a member. The idea is that you can manually adjust who's in what community. So imagine if you've got a membership site, you've got a paid course, you could just add and remove people. Keith is being naughty. Goodbye, Keith. Goodbye. Let's go and add Sir Paul McCartney instead, right? I think Sir Paul is here. There he is. He will be much more of a gentleman. So I'm going to make him a moderator. And there we go. So now we basically got that. And now we've got the group chat. Hello, everyone in the community chat. Notice that it will show up only in that chat. It's not in the main activity. Now, if I ever wanted to, I can also go back to the main feed, which is the total social networking, and say, I'm demonstrating what's up. Let's talk about Embed real quick, and then I'm going to get into some of the other key features. Chris is on to where I'm going with this because we've worked together on screen and hopefully soon again. This is a more lightweight and no fluff way to gamify add-ons and building. Yes, the idea is, as I'll show you, what are the things that Spence recommends people use with BuddyPress? Activity stream, groups, maybe some form of chatting, and a way to publish and share media files. That's it. Because everything else is a gargantuan waste of energy, because like kids in a camp on a bus, they're just in the background throwing spitballs and making trouble. But if you do it this way, you can focus people's energy and attention into a private space that complements the other stuff you do. Watch this. I'm demonstrating what's up. Let's get a YouTube video. I'll grab any old video here. Embed is enabled, which is awesome because, as I've shown you before, I'm not going to embed the same thing. Let's take this one. If I take this video of me from YouTube, I just need to grab the URL. Anybody on your site can just paste that in, automatically embeds. Why is that useful? Because that's enough for somebody else to come in and be able to say, love this video, Spence. And then they can be funny and add a GIF if they want, like all the other social network stuff. But they don't have to sit here and do something that like takes all day or all these extra add-ons or any of the nonsense. Furthermore, people can favorite it. There is a threading capability. And then here somebody can upload something else, right? So let's do something very small and lightweight. They can upload their own images. If there's, let's say, a PDF. I did this for the group. This is 99% of what people need. So more than the Pareto principle, in my opinion. It allows you to have what you need, and it's in a tight community. So let's go back over here to the spaces. I had set this to be private, right? If I take this URL and I were to log out, let's do an incognito. I hate that I have to do it on this one, but I don't want to log out. If we do this on incognito, I'll add this back into the stage. You're going to see that they're just going to be taken to the WordPress login or to the login for the community. But this is what they see now. When I put that in, it's just, you got to log in. Now, if I had this set up properly, I'm going to put the my account login. So I'll show you that in 1 second. But the idea is it's great because you got instant privacy. It takes 2 seconds to set up. And you don't have to fuss with all these extra plugins or the broken stuff or the overhead of BuddyBoss. And don't get me wrong, Michael Eisenwater and Tom Chadai and everybody else done an amazing job. They've sold it to Awesomotive. But man, oh man, you have to commit one way or the other. You cannot realistically have your cake and eat it too when you're using BuddyBoss. You have to go all in on BuddyBoss. And that to me has become an impossible Sisyphean task for most people. Not a choice that I would recommend to most of my clients, because most of my clients do not derive any revenue from the social network. It's just an add-on feature. Okay. I just want to review a couple things, and then I'm going to go into the mechanics of how we're going to connect these things together, because I think this is the awesome sauce. You can have members where the profiles of the people have their own, what they've been doing. Notice I just published 2 minutes ago. This is all Spence's stuff, right? He's got the spaces that he belongs to and his comments. And there's an ability here to edit your profile and change a bunch of stuff, but not too much. Look how easy it is. There's just enough all in the dashboard. And I just can't tell you how much I love this metaphor, because we don't need more specialized plugins to do basic stuff like, let me put my Facebook in. I just literally want to put in Spencer Foreman, update profile, and I'm done. And now somebody who comes can see my profile and click on the link that goes to my social network. If I want to do my description, okay, cool. I just have a button that lets me add a little more in the description, and that's it. And here's the link that works. As you can see, social profile and so forth, or whatever. where it is. Okay. In this case, couldn't be easier. Actually, this one is Spence Foreman. Okay, let's go back and just lastly, the leaderboard. Okay. Leaderboard, I'm not so sure what I'm going to do with, but if you have a gamification like Chris is mentioning, super awesome. I'm going to go back to Eric's question about Fluent Booking. So what we can do is we always go back to the main site here, all in one piece. I'm using LaunchKit. Now, those of you who have been under a rock and haven't seen LaunchKit, LaunchKit is my solution for WordPress as a service that solves all of these problems on a daily basis for going on 56,500 something people. I don't know exactly the count as we speak, but in 20 years, this evolution of where I started, literally I have a video I looked up that I think was from 2005 of the very first social networking thing I did, which was on Ning when we were doing Lab Secrets and then Widget Laboratory. It's been 20 years this year since I started doing this. This LaunchKit provides the way for me to deliver WordPress the way I think it should be delivered, and working with the key features. You could always add and remove anything you want, but like going to IKEA, if you follow IKEA's advice and you buy everything from IKEA, everything always works. There's always a guy in a yellow vest, and you never waste a minute of time on trying to figure stuff out. You just focus on having an awesome house. If you go with LaunchKit, it's less money, less cost than buying parts separately. Everything always works. And I save you from the misery of the things that WordPress brings when you buy random parts from random people, but you still have your freedom to do what you want. So to answer Eric's question, let's go ahead if we wanted to, and we added Fluent Booking in here. Now, I'm not going to set the whole thing up, but I want to give you the basic concept, right? So if I haven't enabled it already, I can add in with LaunchKit Fluent Booking Pro, or hopefully I've just had them installed already inside of my setup, because LaunchKit makes it easy just to click the button and go, let's update all the plugins. Right? Like literally I can update 99 plugins, all the pro stuff to the latest version in about 9 or 10 seconds. And when I do that, I can then see what I've got installed and check it against the active list to see if any updates are necessary and so forth, right? Okay, so let's go over to our plugins. And if I wanted to use one of the plugins like Fluent Booking, I have control over who can see it, because everybody here is a member, right? They've logged in and registered. They may not necessarily be paying me, but they're definitely a member of the site. And that is the way that I control the difference between people who are just browsing publicly or people who are on the site itself. By the way, I'm on InstaWP, and I'm not going to pray to the gods of InstaWP, but they have let me down many times when I'm doing demos. And it's slow. It's slow. When you're doing this on ZipWP or doing it on Rocket, I mean, you press a button, things fly. So just take this for what it is. Everything in here, super fast compared to the alternative. Okay, so let's say, for example, I want to make sure I've got it set up. If I have Fluent Booking active, and whether I do the pro or not is irrelevant, I'll just do the basic. Fluent Booking allows you to set up for any particular individual one-to-one calendars and events, right? So Spence meeting, one-to-one, 30 minutes, location, let's just say, let's do in person, okay? The point is, I set my calendar, I've got something that would be publicly available, and I could share it, okay? Now I can do this as a landing page, or I can put it inside of a particular page with the shortcode or the Gutenberg block. I'm a big fan of this landing page, to be honest, right? So I really do like this. I'm going to set this up. And this is how I would do it. Since everybody who's going to be in your community, or since everybody who's public is going to have the same shot, you can make it that people have to join as a member if they sign up for the first time to do one of these events, or if they've already been signed up, that it just uses their existing profile as the sign up, right? So if I go ahead and enable the landing feature, let's go ahead and view my landing page. Here's my Spence meeting landing page. It's in dark mode. I'm not a huge fan of that. Let's see if I can make that in light mode. It's hard to read. So let's go into light mode. I believe that's under this setting. My brain is firing on all cylinders today. So here's Spence's general meeting page, or the specific meeting on this. If I were to just take this URL, okay, I can do a couple things. First of all, I can go back into the community. This is the part that I'm talking about. Let's go into the community and let's go to my profile. And I can do this a couple different ways. I can go onto my particular profile and edit it, and I can add a button or something else that allows somebody to sign up. Now, I can do this a couple ways I can think of. One of them is I could just add, you know, join me for a free call and put the link in. Now, I think that's just going to show as a link. Let's see what happens. But I could probably prettify it. Now, I've not tried this. Note to team. I don't know what's going to happen if I put in HTML. Let's try it. href equals. This is Spence experiment. Setup call. Okay. This probably is not going to work, but let's just see. It did not work. Okay, so let's go to plan B. I could use edit my profile description, right? I could put it in the bio, or I maybe can put in the website link, right? That might be a way to go too. That would take somebody there. I've got the social network links. So there's a couple ways that one can do that. Another way of doing it is to simply give a profile page inside of here, if I'm the admin of the site. But I'd like to see this for individuals. So I think when Eric was asking the question, he's asking how can each person do it? So let's just take a look now. We go to members. We go to Spence. I don't see it. I see here. So I think we need to, this is probably one of the things I'm going to put on the list of, I'd like to see this improved. I'd like to see the ability, Shah Jahan and team, for custom buttons. So I could say, book a call with me. I'm quite sure though, that they're already thinking ahead and they're going to do the integration. But as it is right now, ta-da, it works just fine. Okay. So rule number one of Spence is integrating this stuff. It doesn't have to be integrated in order for it to work, because even if you took somebody to a link on the other side of things, this still works, right? Spence's calendar is working as a feature inside of the main site. And whether it's embedded or whether it's a standalone link makes no difference. I do want to try one thing though. Remember a second ago, I just showed you how there's a short code. So let's see if this works. I have not tried this. Hi, Thailand, long time no see. Glad to have you back. Let's try this. Let's go over to Fluent Booking. Let's try to take the short code from my calendar, right? And see if this is going to work out. So if I go over here to share, let's see if I copy this short code and then I go back into the community. I love experimenting on the fly without a net. This is old school Spence. I'm going to go to my profile. Let's see what happens when you post short codes. Does not work. Not totally unexpected, because they're probably stripping out all the HTML and the naughtiness. That would be pretty dangerous. Let's see what happens if I edit my profile. Let's see if I put it into the bio, if that works. And I'm not 100% sure how to get back to me, so I'm just doing it the old-fashioned way. That similarly does not work. Let's try one more thing. So note to team, it'd be super cool if there's a way for short codes to work internally. But then again, these are only going to work for admins anyway. So it's sort of besides the point, you know. If you were to use a short code, if you were to use a link shortener, it will work just as well. Like in other words, if you took this and you shortened the link with bit.ly or something, you could just end up with something that's just as cool right now today for your users to do. Just show them how to do it, right? So is there no longer a way to do a short bit.ly? Bit.ly has made my life difficult for no good reason. Let's just use something else. Okay, so shorten URL. Oh my goodness, really? So much work to shorten something. There we go. So if I just take that link here, personally, that's just as well, right? Like, book a call. Ta-da. This is how we used to do it in the old days, kids, when our computers looked like this online. I want you guys to take Hi, Marcus. I want you guys to take away from my playing around here something really super important, which is this is accessible by anybody without specialty knowledge. Now, when I'm working with my clients and we're putting together like Xanders Site, the more complex stuff, it's very difficult for mere mortals to do it, right? Whereas with this kind of stuff, it's reasonable for almost anybody, even your users, to do it. So whether you're the administrator and you want to focus on your business, or your clients, or the people in your community, the stuff in here I'm saying is lightweight. Let's go to one of the things that's really a big deal to me, kind of in line with what Eric was talking about. WP Launchify with launch flows, WP Fusion, WooCommerce subscriptions, the Fluent CRM allows you to easily create free or paid memberships to enroll in courses with LearnDash, to enroll in the community portal itself. So I created a free product. Sorry, I created a paid product as an example. That's a subscription that would be the way for people to register and log into the site by going through a checkout process. And in doing so, I'm going to show you how I've tied it all together. So here's the basic thing. I just put a link in here to make it easy for people if they come back, because double duty, right? The sales page can also show them where to go. But if they go ahead and they want to buy the membership, let's view the cart. I've already got one in there. And with launch flows, you just go right to the checkout anyway. Here's the $47 a month, right? So Spencer Foreman, I'm not going to do another person. Let's just do a checkout. And again, you've seen a trillion times me doing LaunchKit, launch flows, ways to check out and optimize and customize. But my takeaway here is somebody can just today use the Fluent Community plugin and only get in if they've paid for a subscription using basic automation. So I place the order. It's a thank you. What's happening in the background is that if this was a person, they would be given the tags. They would be automatically enrolled through the automation and become a member. Eric says, auto booking option to create each user. Yeah, exactly. So kind of, Eric, hang with me on this, because this is kind of the idea. So somebody who goes in, this is me. Well, by the way, notice using launch flows, I just created a product and see it's got the link so somebody can immediately go from their order to the portal, right? But the second thing is they can go to their account dashboard and it's integrated deeply with all the other stuff, including their payments and their subscriptions and so on and so forth, right? So somebody doesn't have to be guessing about what happens. I'm going to do this with a real member, not me, but let's go in the back end so I can show you how I set this up. First thing I did is I created a product in WooCommerce, like I've done a million times before, and I created it with a monthly subscription for whatever it is, $47, all good. Notice that I've set it up with launch flows, so it's going to the checkout and the thank you page. I didn't do any custom design or anything. That's all fine. But then WP Fusion, in this case, I'm giving him a tag of example tag 1. That could be useful. Notice I use the product short description to also put a link so that it's a way for people who buy the product to know this is where to go to the community portal right after you buy. All of that, including the custom checkout, the thank you, makes it a seamless experience to get their money, save their credit card, and get them into the system of your CRM. Now, hopefully you're using Fluent CRM. If you're not, this will work with any CRM if you use WP Fusion. But in this case, I want to show you what I've done here. In this case, this is the checkout I just did, right? And if I have a purchase history, I can see in Fluent CRM right in my dashboard. Could this be any more awesome? I don't think so. You're in the same site. You own and control. All of this software is working together. It all's tightly integrated with all the other features, with things like WooCommerce subscriptions and sales funnels and so forth. This is WordPress as the dream service. This is WordPress replacing Kartra, Kajabi, School, all the other stuff, because the components we need are all here now, and we've smoothed off all of the sharp edges. So here we've got the actual purchase history. We can see the lifetime value. The person is on the CRM in the main list. They've got the tag. What I did here, and by the way, notice, if you do have bookings, you can see scheduled bookings. If you have support tickets, I mean, it's all here in one spot. I created an automation. So pay attention. This is how I did it. There are going to be more advanced automations from Fluent Community. I've already talked to the team about this. But right now, all you need is this. An automation, number one, is a trigger. What is the trigger? I, in this case, decided to use a trigger that's a tag because, as you saw, when they buy the subscription membership, here's Spence's training. Somebody said they laugh when I do this. Spence says they're going to get a tag. Okay. So this is the subscription tag. They will keep this tag only for as long as they keep paying the subscription. And then the tag is going to be taken away. What does that mean? Well, that means that this triggers them to be added in to the community. And then it can restart a bunch of times. Why is that important? Because the action is to add them to the community space. Okay. I can add them to the office hours or any of the other spaces. There's 2 spaces, right? So when they buy the community subscription, that triggers an automation that adds them to the space. Spence, what if they stop paying me? We can just carry on. Okay. What we can do is we can add a condition or a goal here. In this case, I would probably say it's a goal. Or you can run a separate automation, which, by the way, might be the way to do this. So let's do a separate automation. I kind of like the idea of putting a lot of things together if they're sensible, but like adding to the community and removing from the community feel like separate things. So look at all the various pre-built funnels. Let's do a scratch one. We can trigger this from something like an order or something like the community action and stuff. But in this case, we're going to do the opposite of what I started with, which is instead of tag applied, it's going to be tag removed. So that community tag, which I called example 1, is going to be the one to remove person from community. So all I'm doing is saying, look, somebody either has their Costco membership card or they don't. If they don't, then we're going to remove them. Make sense? So when this thing gets taken away, because the WooCommerce subscription is going to take it away from WP Fusion, then in fact, we're going to remove them from the community. So what's the next step? We're going to go down here to the community stuff, and we're going to remove them from the community group. Same community. That's it. Ta-da, I'm done. Now, why is this awesome? I'm going to do a real checkout. When somebody gets added the first time from buying, they're going to be in the community group, and they'll also be in the community as a member with their user profile. That can trigger other emails if you're asking. So if I go to the automations, for example, let's go over here. I can also, besides adding into the group, I can trigger a custom email, of course, either immediately or shortly thereafter, right? Send custom email. Welcome to the Spence group, Spencer Davis group, and blah, 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 blah. And all the rest of the stuff that you would normally do, right? Easy, 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 easy. So let's do one for real. And all this isn't tested or proven, but I just want to show you, like, in a couple minutes, using LaunchKit, using the Fluent products, using the methodology, the free instruction, or hands-on help, everything you ever dreamed of can be owned and controlled without having to pay for a subscription to something like, they're great products, but like a Social or a Mighty Circle.so or Mighty Networks or School or any of those things, Kartra, Kajabi, you've got everything you need here for less than the cost of the normal monthly membership, and you own it and control it for yourself and your clients. This is the dream, folks. This is the dream. 20 years. Really almost have to check this out, but like I'll at the end, I'll show you the Vimeo link of me when I first started with the very first social networking thing as Spence the Evil Genius and the media browser. So 20 years has led to this. We finally have it. Let's check it out. I'm going to go, I always hate doing this because I'm going to let me make sure I've got a user profile here. Otherwise, I'm going to log out and I'll have to bang myself back in here. I do not have. I'm going to make a new user for myself. Just so I can get back in. Save this here. Okay. Now I'm going to go incognito. I'm going to log out. Let's go back to the front of the site. That's not the front of the site. This is the front of the site. And let's give this a try. XYZ. Hang in there, kids. I'm going to get there. Okay. So I just want to make sure I'm not logged in. I'm not. Okay. So let's go over to this community subscription and let's give it a try. No net. I'm doing this live in the air with the engines turning. Let's do a sign up. We're going to do, let's do Tony at labsecrets.com. Tony Tiger. Okay, $47. I don't know if all this is set up properly. So again, be gentle with me. What should happen, I should be registered, logged in. I'm going to go to the thank you page. I now have a $47 charge on my dashboard. When I go to the portal, I should have access and I should be in the community, right? So if I go to my spaces, I should see the community. I am a member. It's working. Like a miracle. Not. This is how fun and easy it is. Now, I'm not going to like turn on the other stuff, but I have so many videos and so many hours and days and weeks and months of showing how the other complex stuff works. How cool is it that literally I can join up here and be done? Now, let's say I don't want to be here anymore. I'm sick of paying Spence to be in his community. Okay, I go to my account and I look at my orders. I'm not sure why that's showing, but let's see. This is where my Spence is like got to connect all the pieces together. I think I needed to connect one more thing to show my order details with my subscription, but you're going to have to bear with me. Well, you're going to have to bear with me on this because it works. I always get caught in one of my traps. Let's log out for a second and let's go back in with the real Spence and let's look at the back end and see what just happened. So I'm going to grab that password that I need to come in as me. Listen. Even the Walendas worked without a net, and we know how that ended. Sometimes you have a good day, and sometimes things have a couple loose ends. Let's take a look on the back end and see if that order came through for Tony Tiger, which I'm pretty sure it did. That might have been the issue, though, is it might have just been pending. Let's see. It was in there. Okay, so we see that Tony came in. And let's see if it was a subscription. Maybe that's, oh, sorry, folks. The reason that it didn't work was because I had not enabled the subscriptions. So I feel a little vindicated. If I had turned on the subscription instead of a one-time, that would have been fine. But this was just a one-time. So say love you. Let's go over, more importantly, though, let's go over to Fluent Community. Sorry, let's go over to Fluent CRM because I want to see the history of this order. And then we're going to fix it and try it one more time because there was a question, too, about how we're going to do this like Learn Dash, right? And I want to make sure everybody understands this. So here's Tony. Got added to the main list, example tag. We can see all of the various things, including the purchase history, which again, this was unfortunately, it says subscription, but it was set up not as a subscription, but we can see it. We can see lifetime value, so on and so forth. Let's fix that product and try it one more time. So if we're going to go back over to the product, let's do products. Let's make it a real subscription. And I was correct. See where it's simple product? We need to enable the subscriptions plugin. No big deal. It's included in LaunchKit. So let's just turn it on. We just go to plugins and see if it's installed. WooCommerce subscriptions. I haven't configured it, but you don't need to do much here. You just need to turn on the subscriptions. So if we go here, WooCommerce, let's see. We had the price string on, but not the subscription plugin. Simple error on Spence's part. I was doing a little testing before. Okay, so once that's on, give it 10 seconds. There we go. Let's refresh, and we should be able to turn this into a subscription product. Ta-da. Okay, so simple subscription, $47 a month. Launch flows remains the same. WP Fusion, same thing, but we're going to remove that tag. And if we want, we can put in a new tag. We can create a tag that says what happens when they cancel. We say canceled subscription. Now, I don't know that you need that all the time, but it's useful in some cases to have it, because that's how you might tell that previously they were something and now they are not. But at a minimum, I'm giving them example tag, and if they cancel, canceled subscription tag gets applied as well. Okay. Remember, the tag here, example 1, is what we're using in our automations, though. All right. So let's give this a try. I'm going to do an incognito window, and I'm going to share this, and I'll keep the other one open and see how we do. All right, let's give it a shot. We'll come up somebody new to purchase today. We're going to do keith@moon.com. And we'll do the same thing now. The demo numbers. Okay, let's give it a shot. Zip code invalid. I like that it caught that. I'm not sure why 12345 is invalid, but that's the test zip code. Okay, same idea. Keith is now checking out. He's been taken to the thank you page. Ta-da. We know we can go to the portal. Let's see if this shows up as an order this time. I'm not so sure why that isn't working. I have to check it out, but let's look at subscriptions. It is showing up in subscriptions. The reason it might not be showing up in orders is because I've set the dashboard up with the custom short codes, and maybe that short code isn't configured right. But we do have it in here, as I suggested. So let's do two things. Let's see if Keith can, first of all, get to the portal. He should be enrolled in the community. He likes the dark mode here because he's rocking and rolling. He can switch to light mode. But if he goes over here to the spaces, we see here that he's a member of the space. Now, let's go back, main site home, or I could put a link here, by the way. This is cool too. Watch this. If I go ahead and set up, let's do the settings I showed you earlier. Oh, I can't do it because I'm Keith. Let's go back on this other, well, I can't do this. I would normally put a link in here that says go to my account. Let's put it like that. So I'm just going to do it the old fashioned way. I'm going to go back here and now say my account. And now let's say he cancels it, because your members should be able to cancel with one click. I take issue with some of the WordPress plugin companies like Awesomotive that torture their clients and make them go through 7 steps. You should make it as easy as possible for people to cancel immediately. Just cancel. Why? Why shouldn't you? Like, that's how human beings do it. Not go through 7 steps and I'll torture you until you cry uncle. He's canceled. Let's see what happens when he goes to the portal. Notice he's still in the portal as a member, but when he goes to spaces, let's see if it worked. Still didn't work. So there might be something with my automation I have to fix. Let's see if we can figure out what it was. Maybe it was just simply that I didn't set it up as active, but I'm going to do this live on the screen so you can see how I would go about figuring it out. Pretty sure that's what I didn't do. So if we go back over here to our setup, let's go and look at what I did with my automations. And inside of Fluent CRM, chances are good I just didn't set it to active. So tag removed, status published, view reports, nobody in there. Could be something else. I'm not sure. Sometimes with these demo sites, the reason is because I have not set it up as a cron job, or I've not done something really simple. So let me just see if it's obvious. And if not, no big deal. Let's see. And it's tag removed. So let's try something else. Let's go to the Fluent CRM and let's just remove the tag and see if that triggers it manually. So we go to Keith, and this is the way you can test this stuff, which is really super awesome. When you're using internal CRM, doing this kind of debugging is so easy, so fast because of a million different reasons, not the least of which is like you can just do it right in the dashboard. You don't have to go to another site and log in and hope for the webhooks and all the rest. So if I remove this tag, that should trigger that automation. Let's see what the report says on that automation. And it worked this time. So it could have just been something. I think I know what the problem is. The reason is because when somebody cancels, Heath had a sorry about this. I should have thought of it. Heath had a 30-day membership. He canceled today, but he had already paid for the 30 days. That's the reason it didn't work. He was still entitled to hang out there for 30 more days. It wasn't like he should have been kicked out and we kept his money. So my apologies. That's what happened. But here's the good news. It just shows how easy it is, I guess, in a weird way to debug it. Let's go back and be Keith. And I hate that I have to keep bouncing around with this incognito. Maybe I'll figure out a better way in the future. But for right now, it's okay. Let's pretend we're Keith again. And now let's go to the feed and go to spaces. And now, ta-da, check it out. Now Keith is no longer in the community. So it really, really, really does work. I'm going to do one last thing here, though, because we were talking about this. It's already at the top of the hour. I want to review what this all means. And I also want to show you how I would do the my account thing. Because like with the Learn Dash and the other stuff, it's just about adding another menu item. So one of the things I would do is I go to Appearance, Menus. And all I would do is I would add in the My Account. This would happen anyway on the community space, right? So here I am on the front. I've already got it. Let's go to the community side of things and do the same thing in the top menu. Community portal, using their basic editing. I just go over here to settings. I love this as menu, just basic. And I could put this at the top. I could put it on this menu here, top links at sidebar, primary menu items. So main site, home, feed, spaces, course, leaderboard. Let's add it at the end. My account. And for this, I need to put the absolute URL, I believe. So let me just get this. And so you just take the site domain / my-account. I won't put in any SVG. So now it's at the end. And I don't think I have to save it. But now when I refresh, let's take a look. So now there's a My Account link at the top. And I think this is the super awesome way to avoid having to make somebody go back to the homepage and then click My Account. I would actually make, in many cases, the items on the top menu mirror each other. Okay. Finally, last thing, I just want to point out inside of Learn Dash, when you're using the setup that we do at LaunchKit, the products themselves enroll somebody in the course. So if you have Learn Dash enabled and you have courses, let's just turn on basic Learn Dash, just so this will show up. Learn Dash, and we're going to do the WooCommerce integration. Even though we can do this with tags only, I like to use the Learn Dash WooCommerce integration because that's the same thing that will give us the ability to give and take away access to the subscription for a course. So if I go here to Learn Dash, I'm going to turn on the WooCommerce integration. And now the product has all of the instructions we need along with the marketing automation in order to make this work. So we go back to our product and let's say community membership plus access to the course. Okay. Why not? Bonus for the win. community access plus course. Now, those of you who don't know with launch flows, I'm going to throw in a quickie. Just change the blank template, and then you can put like some awesome freaking design on this page, right? That makes it look like a sales page. So for example, I can just pick anything here I wanted. This one, okay? I don't have to be fancy. If I just were to take this particular design, right, and I copy the pattern code, I could just put this and make this awesome in 2 seconds, change this to a full width layout, and then I would just put like the get it now, right here. So I'd say, instead of get started, I would say, get it now, just $47. And then I would put the link to the direct to checkout that comes from using launch flows. This is one of the things that makes this whole setup so amazingly logical and simple. So I take that link, I put it here on the button, right, itself. And let's just make sure I'm on the whole button. I'm on the whole button. I put it in here. Get rid of that, paste in that. Done, done. And now what I've got is I've got a way to enroll somebody in LearnDash. How do I do that? I go down to the product data options, and under general, see, LearnDash courses. Which course would I enroll them in? And I would just choose either the course or the groups that somebody's enrolled in. And what that does is it means that when they pay the money, they'll be enrolled in those courses or groups, and then they'll be unenrolled. So you can enroll them into the community, you can enroll them into the courses, WP Fusion can track them, and they're in the CRM, you can see their details. And when they stop paying, it gets them out of there and sends you a notification. All in one, not a monthly fee or recurring revenue thing like joining school or this or the other. You bring up a good point. Fluent Community courses. I love that you reminded me because I wasn't going to leave without doing it, but let me just show you the difference. So here, for example, this is our sales page. Somebody clicks it. It looks gorgeous, acts gorgeous. What did that take me? 2 seconds. Boom. Community subscription plus course. But wait, there's more. As Emoji Trading has indicated, they have basic course capabilities in here. I wasn't going to forget, I promise. Courses are basic, but I love this because not everybody needs or wants LearnDash. I mean, LearnDash is great if you've got some complex stuff, but what if you just want to give basic stuff? This right now has a couple limitations on the control over what people can see because it doesn't have the capability, as I'll show you, to protect individual lessons or individual topics or whatever. It's sort of all public or somebody joins a course. But I know for a fact, this is coming. So this is just like, hang on, it's on the list. Let me show you what goes on. Here's a list of all the courses. Here's the courses that I may or may not be enrolled in. Okay. In this particular case, if I'm managing, let me make sure I'm the right person here. I'm logged in as Spence, who is not a community manager. So let me make Spence a community manager. I was logged in as a different person before, but that's okay. I'll show you how this works. I'm going to make Help at WP Launchify a manager. I know I'm not showing you that right now. I'm showing you another screen, but I have to just literally change the profile. Oh, let me do it like this. Hold on. I'm going to log back in through InstaWP. I'll save the trouble. I'm going to go into here and I'll just log in this way. Save you and I the drama, since it's a good question I want to get to because you guys have been very patient. So now I should be logged in as Spence again, the administrator. And I am. Okay. So if you go over here to courses, Cheryl had set one up. Here's one I'd set up. We can go ahead and manage courses. Here's the link on the side. Okay. So for managed courses, let's create a new course. I want to show it's available. New course for office hours. You can give it a slug, new course spelled right. for office hours. Same idea. You can do public, private, or secret. The concept is really simple. Public is like everybody can see it and enroll. Private is only members that you add or through an automation, which is what we just discussed, like when I showed you some of those other options. Secret is only invited people, which could be really good. Like if you had a Facebook community or something else, or a private email. Let's just make it private for now. Space group, you can put it with or associate it with what we just created before. So in this case, I would associate it to my office hours group maybe. And then you've got this as a basic choice, which I think is just enough. Self-paced means you get everything and do it as fast as you want. Structured means it's drip. Very popular word. And a lot of you like drip. And scheduled is, it's not drip, but it's dripped on a date. So in other words, it's not like dripped relative to like 5 days after, 7 days after, 10 days after you enrolled. Instead, it's like January 1st, February 1st, March 1st. All of these are great options. Published, you can add a photo. Let's put a comparable photo or, image. Create it. Now, here's where you add either topics or lessons. Okay. Topic 1. I'm not sure if it's possible, to be honest, to do lessons without a topic. I don't know. I don't think that's in there yet. Maybe I'm wrong. I don't really care. Just call it what you want, but each topic has lessons. So the Tupperware container is course, drip or not, topic, topic, topic. Inside each topic is lesson, lesson, lesson. And so what I do like is that it has just enough features. Add and edit. What do I mean by that? Well, look at how simple it is. I can put in featured media. Like, let's say I want to take that Spence video, and this is the point of the lesson. Let's get to the right page, Spence. Where is it, kid? There it is. It's at the end. I just paste that in and it embeds it. Just enough, right? Or I could, by the way, embed it here. But then I just start doing Gutenberg-y kind of things, right? And I love this. These guys, they're not messing around, which to me is the most important part. Like, why do I need anything other than the Gutenberg stuff I've already got? Like, how awesome is it? It's Gutenberg, of course. And then I just do a paragraph. Type, 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 type. More, image. Hello, like mind blown. What does it not have? Right now, and I'm not sure if this is going to change soon, it doesn't have some of the internal ability to run stuff. Maybe it does. Hold on. I'm shocked. I'm looking. No, it does not. I was looking to see if it had shortcodes, and I don't think it has shortcodes yet. So for example, it does not yet, but I'm sure it will have the ability to put a shortcode in there to run, like, I want to put in some lunch flows thing. I want to put in some Learn-Gutenberg block thing. It only has the ability to run a limited block set, but it's a very nice block set as it is, just like it is when you're using Fluent CRM for your emails. So once you save this and you can put it into publish mode, you essentially have what amounts to a pretty cool course, right? So let's go back to lessons. Let's go back to our courses. And I think I have to publish the whole thing. So this is still in draft. So let's just finish our job, right? So we got topic 1, lesson 1 published, and private, self-paced, put it in publish mode. I don't know why the photo upload didn't work, but I'll just put the photo back in, or the screenshot. There we go. I needed to click the button again. And now, ta-da, should be ta-da. We should have if it's published. I'm not sure why it didn't work, but there it goes. It's there now. It's published, but we have to add somebody through an automation. And that's it. Like, I would say for 99% of people, the features in this beta are covering all the things that we normally do when I have to install the BuddyPress and the Usify, and definitely with BuddyBoss. And the activity stuff is kind of cool. I mean, let's be honest, it'd be neat if somebody came to a site and people were, jamming on this page. But this requires a lot of administrator overhead and so forth. I don't think this is the most compelling thing. The number one most compelling thing is the idea that somebody can be added to a space, and inside that space is going to be courses or lessons or private chats. Number two is the idea that you can connect this directly, like I've shown you with automations, to the other sales tools and the other CRM stuff without an extra overhead of the other plugins. And number three, I think the biggest takeaway of all, in reverse order, is no styling required. It's light and it's dark. That's it. You don't need more. If you want to do more, you can do a little CSS. And that, I think, is my takeaway from today. I've been very animated today. This has been really fun. I can't wait to do more with this. I promised you guys something crazy. So Vimeo.com, lab secrets. I don't know what it was, 20 something years ago when I started in social networking. The very first thing I think I ever did was with this Ning thing. And I'm pretty sure it's in here. Video browser. You can look at some of these things. I've been doing this forever. This is 13 years ago. That doesn't seem right, but maybe there are things a little off. Maybe this is about 2008. But what was fun to me was when I look back and think how long I've been doing this, nothing has changed. Like, we've been trying to do the same stuff since it's file browser. That's not it. But we've been trying to do this since forever, since I started. And since forever, we've been needing to use all these outside things and all these outside tools. And it's just been so difficult. And what I love now, futzing around with this, what I love now is that we finally have a situation where, hold on, let me just show this because otherwise I'll feel like a schmo for taking you here and not showing you. We finally have a situation where you can own and control everything. And to me, that has been like a dream since way back in these early days. One of these has it in here. Video browser. You can browse around here. It just go to vimeo.com and type lab secrets and you can see it. But I used to make these videos back in the day with my crazy voice and my crazy demo. And I think to myself, like, I've been doing this. This is lab secrets. That's why I've been doing this forever. But now we finally have it where instead of paying a subscription to an outside company to host all your stuff independently, you can have it in WordPress where you own it, you control it for yourself or your clients. You don't pay more because it grows. You can integrate it with the higher features. It's like in my office here, I've got some IKEA stuff and I can have this for today, tomorrow, for the future, and I can add to it, remove stuff. But if I ever go to IKEA, I'm still going to be able to change the things that were here from 20 years ago because somebody has curated it. Somebody has been the concierge. Anyway, thank you for your indulgence. Today was much longer than normal, and I know I'm going to be doing more about this. I can't thank the team at WP Managed Ninjas enough, Shah Jahan and the team of 100 plus. We've had about 99% positive feedback on all this kind of stuff since we started doing LaunchKit and working together on, trying to make WordPress a better place for people. There's always a few naysayers and people who are members of their tribe of I like this and that and the other plugin. Use whatever you want. The beauty of WordPress is I may give you 99% of what you want. If you want to change something, change something. Here's what I tell people at WP Launchify. If you change it and you use something not in the kit, it's my discretion whether to support you. If you use what's in the kit, I'll support you. If you go to IKEA and you say, well, I have all your stuff except I chopped down a tree and I carved it into a chair and the chair doesn't fit under the table. They're going to say, too bad, fix your chair. If you'd bought one of our chairs, like the Verklumpte chair, it would have perfectly fit. But since you did it yourself, God bless you. Welcome to that world. Anyway, thanks everybody. It's been a great session. I hope to have more fun like this. And this to me is going to be definitely a reason why a lot of you guys jump off the shelf because I know you have clients doing this. I'm going to be publishing whether this is officially released, and when it is, great. If not, in the meantime, it's in the launch kit. You can play with it, or you can play on the live community that I showed you today. I'll see you on the next one.